Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, my fantastic family and friends? It is your boy, Mr. Dominique, aka the Scorpio King. And I'm right back at you with another episode of Dom's World from right up top. Wow. You know that routine, family. You got your world and I have mine. Let's get right to it this morning. Let's chop it up. It's a little cold out here, so getting a little bit of coffee up in me. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed your time with your family, your friends, or to yourself, whatever it is you did. But I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone is looking forward to an even better new year. Okay? Chosen ones. Family. The message this morning is from the heart. A shared experience, and I know a lot of people feel this way. You know, during this time of the year, during the holidays, is where you just feel like everyone should be at their best. Everyone should be happy, excited, and a lot of times that's the furthest thing from the truth for a lot of people. The holidays are stressful and depressing and all that stuff. One thing I noticed is that this time of year, ever since I've been a full-grown adult, no matter what, just something crazy always goes on around this time of the year. You know, no matter how, I think personally for me, as long as I don't lose anyone in death, I'm going to consider it a win. Long as no one dies that I know, I'm close to, a family member or a close friend or something like that, a student or anything like that, long as no one dies that I know, that I was close to, personally for me, for Dominique, I'll take it as a win. Now, that's not to ignore that, there's always some craziness that happens around this time of the year. You always get some kind of bad news, whether it's, you have something go wrong with your car, something go wrong in your house, and you have to fix the car, fix the house. That's money that you could have been spending on Christmas. Now you have to spend that towards that and still figure out Christmas. Whether it just be things going on at work, people lose jobs, people change jobs. And a lot of times, even when you change jobs, it takes at least anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks to get the money flowing again for you to get back on schedule. Any kind of change during this time of the year, any kind of bad news, any kind of falling out with a friend or a family member. You could be beefing with somebody. You could be into it, have some animosity, had an argument or something with someone. It's just that it seems like this time of the year, there's just always some crazy stuff that happens. Without me going into any details, personally for me, let me say this first. I'm not a complainer. And if you listen to my content, then you know how I feel about people who complain a lot. So, therefore, I'm not a complainer. And that's a good thing. And as I have found out, sometimes it's a bad thing. Here's why I say that. I'm the kind of person that, let me use this for an example. Let's say I share space with someone. I share space with where I teach my classes at. I share space with multiple people. I'm not the only one who uses that space. And when I go in to get ready to teach my classes, sometimes I have to sweep up the floor. I have to move things around before I can have my class. Sometimes whoever was there before me, whether it been right before me or the day before, they didn't leave the place appropriate for me to walk in and just start teaching my classes. I had to sweep or throw away some trash, had to find trash bags, or I had to move some things around. You feel me? Like, I did what I had to do to make things presentable for my students when they come in before classes start. I never once complained about that. Never once. And a prime example to me not being a complainer, how it works against me sometimes, is if my students make a mess and I don't thoroughly clean up, or I forget to clean up after them, I hear a complaint about it. a complaint is brought to me about what me or my kids didn't do, or what we did or didn't do. So this is why I say, I'm not a complainer. I'm a team player. And just how I was raised and where I come from, if you got to sweep or do something before you start classes, you just do it. But I could have complained. I could have said, hey, I come in, I'm getting ready to start my classes, and there's trash on the floor. There's no bags in the trash cans. There's blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. I could have done that. And I would have had every right to do so. Just like I'm not mad at these people who complain about me. They have every right to do so. But, family, my point to this is I'm not a complainer, and I didn't complain. And then someone complains about me. And it just sucks when that happens, because it's like, well, dang. Now, if I complain now, it looks like I'm being tit for tat. It looks like I'm only complaining because I got complained on. You know what I mean? Like, come on, we grown folk here. We grown folk talking. So it sucks when you're the person who's willing to come in and be a team player and not complain about things, or complain about every little thing, and not let every little thing bother you. But every little thing that you do or may not do is bothering someone, and they're complaining about you. That absolutely sucks. It does. It is what it is. That's life. Is life fair? No, it's not fair. So you just got to deal with it, right? But that's an example I want to give you when I say sometimes, family, we deal with things and we do feel like it's unfair, it's unjust, it's not right, it's not cool. This is petty. Y'all tripping off of this. I didn't trip off of that, but y'all tripping off of that. Like, it is what it is. Not everyone thinks like I think. I don't think how they think. And just because I don't complain doesn't mean they shouldn't. And you know what I mean? And just because they do doesn't mean I should. You see how that works? That's just life. Forgive me if I'm all over the place. I'm kind of venting to y'all a little bit too, family. The power of a strong mindset is when you find yourself in situations where you feel like you're not being treated fairly, or you feel like people are complaining about you and they're being petty, or they're nitpicking or something like that. You have to just understand that you have an opinion. I have my opinion. It's my opinion. I feel like it's petty and it's nitpicking. I said it and I meant it. But at the same time, I understand. Just because, again, it goes back to just because I didn't have a problem or I didn't complain doesn't mean that the next person should react the same way I did. Also, if I forgot to do something, then I'm at fault. If I left the place messy, or if my kids left the place messy, I'm at fault. I'm accountable. I talk about accountability all the time. But you just have to know that sometimes, even though you may hold yourself accountable, doesn't mean other people will hold themselves accountable. Although I may come back around and apologize for the mistake I made, doesn't mean that that person will come around and apologize for the mistake that they made. And that sucks. But that's life. Is that fair? No, it's not, but that's life, family. I'm just trying to paint the picture to you that chosen ones, we deal with a lot of unfairness. We deal with a lot of injustice. We deal with a lot of things that just don't seem to be right. And we see it clear as day. We bend over backwards and go out our way to help people, and they don't do the same for us. We support others and they don't support us. We speak kindly for others, but they don't speak kindly about us. You know what I mean? Like the circle of life. You have to have a strong mindset. When you're going through things like this, you have to be able to talk to yourself, talk to God, and you got to be pretty good at working things out in your head. Something else I want to say, family, is that just because you made a move forward to do something, you went forward to do something and it did not work, doesn't mean it was a failure. It's not always a failure because something didn't work. Sometimes God needs to let you find out for yourself that you were okay where you were. But you might not have thought you were okay where you were because the grass looked greener on the other side. And sometimes God needs to let you climb on over that fence and move on into that new house and find out that the grass is not as green as it looked from the other side. Sometimes you don't realize what you have until it's gone. So sometimes you need to lose something or someone for a while to realize what they mean to you or what it meant to you. I want you to be strong enough to sometimes realize that, yes, I made a move, and that move turned out to not be the best move. It wasn't a bad move, but it wasn't the best move, or it wasn't what I thought it would turn out to be. Still wasn't a bad move. I didn't lose anything or get hurt because of the move, but I didn't gain anything either. And I didn't go to the heights or the levels I thought I would because of this move. So sometimes you find out that you made a move, and although it wasn't the best move, it wasn't a bad move, it wasn't the best move. And so sometimes you realize that you got to take a step back. Sometimes you got to take a step back in order to take the next 3 steps forward. You have to be able to realize that, family member. Sometimes you're going to have to take a step back so that the next 3 steps you take forward will be great moves, great steps, and big steps, positive steps. You will know when you failed. You will feel it. You will feel it. I believe that you will know when you will know when you try something and you failed it. You will know it. You will feel it. There's no mistake about it. No doubt about it. You failed at this miserably. When you make a move and it doesn't work, but no harm was done other than the fact that you just put time into it, but you didn't gain anything, but you didn't lose anything, there's a lesson. And what you need to stop and realize is that there was a lesson in that move. And hopefully you caught the lesson. Hopefully you caught the lesson. When you make a step forward and it doesn't work out for you, there's a lesson to be learned. Okay? Get the lesson and you will not have wasted your time. I want you to remember that going forward in life, that when you make a move, when you do something and you think you're going forward and it doesn't work, but you don't lose anything, you didn't really fail, but you didn't gain anything, what was the lesson? Because that's what you gained. You gained some knowledge, you gained some wisdom. You gained some knowledge, some wisdom that will make you smarter going forward for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps. Not every move we make will be the right one. Family, sometimes it's best to make that move and find out that you didn't need to make that move. It's best to make that move and find out that it wasn't the right move to make than to live with the regret and wondering, telling yourself, because what we do is we tell ourselves, had I made that move, life probably would have been different for me. Had I made that move, life probably would be better for me or different for me, is what you tell yourself. And you'll never know. You'll beat yourself up saying, I wish I would have tried. I wish I would have tried. So I would much rather try. I would much rather make the move and try and see how it works. And if I'm let down and a bit disappointed because it didn't turn out to be what I thought it was, that's okay. That's okay. That's life. I didn't lose anything, though. I didn't get hurt and I didn't lose anything. No damage was done. No harm was done. I wasted some time. No, I didn't even waste any time. But if I lost anything, I lost time. That's it. I lost time. The move wasn't what I thought it was. You understand what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's life. You live and you learn. Now I never have to wonder what life would have been like had I made that move. I made that move. I 10 years from now, 5 years from now, I'll look back and say, I made that move. It didn't work out for me. I'm so glad I did because I found out how to get to where I am now, because that didn't work out for me. You don't want to live with wondering if I would have did that, how life would have turned out. No, I know how life turned out. It didn't turn out to be what I thought it was. I made that move. So I had to fix it and correct it. And now I'm back on the right track. When you make a move and it doesn't work out, you have the opportunity to fix it and get back on track. But when you don't make the move, you'll never find out anything, and you live with regret and wondering what you should have did, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Who wants to live with woulda, coulda, shoulda? Who wants to die going to the grave with woulda, coulda, shoulda? At least you know, chosen one, you made the move, it didn't work out, now you're back to where you belong, and you're smarter and wiser and stronger now because of it. Now you have a higher appreciation for where you are now. Make sense? That's all I'm saying. I want to vent a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like somebody needs to hear that. There is sometimes when things don't go wrong, it's not always a failure. It's not always a failure. Sometimes things don't turn out to be what we thought they were, and that's okay. You just learn from that and you move on. And you know how to recognize that next time so that you don't make that same mistake and waste any more time. But no regrets. No regrets if you felt like what you did is what you needed to do, because it's what you wanted to do. And you needed to go do that to find out that you don't need to do it anymore, or that you don't want to do it anymore. But you needed to go do it to find out. You know what I mean? You needed to find out if it was the right thing to do, or if it was the wrong thing to do, or if you should ever do it again. You needed to know, and you never would have knew the answer if you hadn't tried. So don't beat yourself up for trying. Don't fault yourself for trying. Be proud of yourself for trying. So many people are scared to try, but not you. Pat yourself on the back for trying. And if you don't succeed, you try again. If you like what you hear, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for all notifications, like and share your boy videos. I'm Mr. Dominique, a.k.a. the Scorpio King, saying peace, one love, stay blessed, keep the vibrations up. Namaste. I love you, family. And remember, never be afraid to try. Never be afraid to try. Be afraid to live with regret because you don't try. I'm out.